Welcome to episode 49 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Brewer, and tonight I want to talk to you about defining the purpose for this Apartment Hacker video series in the Apartment Hacker Facebook page. And really what I want to do is just be raw and authentic as it relates to my purpose for this site. You know, I've been writing blog posts since roughly 2006, 2007. In my blog, if any of you have followed it up to this point in time, you well know, or you may well know that it's changed names at least 4 or 5 times. I think my very first blog was Mike Brewer on Stuff and Things, and my very first blog post was about a solar trash can that people would park on public streets up and down on public streets in Portland, Oregon. And then it evolved into all kinds of different things. In the very early stages, I'd set up a blog that posted about employee accomplishments at Equity Residential in Portland, a portfolio of 16 properties in roughly 5,000, maybe close to 6,000 units that we managed there back in the early 2000s, I believe. But anyway, the premise for the blog was really my own education, right? It was twofold in terms of education. One was helping me learn how to use blogs as an avenue for putting myself out into the world, but it was also how do blogs work, and I taught myself about how they work through the use of them. And then it evolved into more of an educational avenue for me, meaning that every time I sat down to write a blog post, it forced me to do some research as it related to whatever topic I might be writing about. And then thirdly, and this is still something I work with or work on to this day, is writing style and grammar and spelling. And for those of you who love the grammar and spelling thing and love to rail on it, I know I'm not the best at it, but you know, many times it's rush for me. I'm so excited about putting stuff out into the world that I don't take the time to sit down and actually go through and edit the copy that goes out. So anyway, that's neither here nor there as it relates to the topic tonight. I'm getting off on a tangent, but the purpose today for Apartment Hacker is it continues to be an education for myself. Now it's evolved into educating myself on how to produce videos that will add value to not only my life and my professional career, but also yours in some way, shape, or form, whether it be through prompting you to think about things that you haven't thought about for a long time, or you know, bringing things up again in your mind that I'm sure you think about all the time, but maybe got stuck in the cobwebs of your daily thinking. But it's also to hopefully add value in the way of different ways of thinking about things. You know, from time to time, we'll introduce stuff here that's novel. More times than not, we're regurgitating things that people have thought of many times over and packaged it in many different ways. But in the end, what we will get across here, what I will get across here is my heart and my desire, my passion for the multifamily industry, and the things I love about it, sometimes the things that I struggle with, and sometimes the leadership struggles that I go through, ultimately the education that I get for myself, and you know, my true hope and desire is that it turns into a robust community that is engaged in a back and forth conversation. I'd love to hear from you as a community, but statistics tell me through blogging all these years that people, first and foremost, you probably have not watched. If you've watched to this point, you're in the minority. But people don't engage as much today as they did back then. Sometimes I'd put blog posts out in the past that would get 15, 20 comments. Today, if I got a comment, I would sing hallelujah, especially if it wasn't someone related to me. But you know, my hope is always that people will find value in the dialogue, that they'll actually engage at some point and provide feedback. Heck, if you even threw virtual bananas and apples at me, I'd probably be very excited. But more than anything, I hope that you enjoy watching the videos. I hope you do get something out of them. I hope that you do engage at some point in time. If you have ideas, I'll talk about anything. If you ask me questions, I'll give you my opinion on just about anything, raw and unfiltered. And I might go ahead and throw in a disclaimer here. Many times my thoughts are not endorsed or driven by or a product of Mills Properties where I work. I want to be very clear that my association there and what I do on Apartment Hacker are divided. It doesn't mean we don't do things that I talk about here on this vlog, but I want to be careful to say that we don't always use them or endorse them on the other side of my life, if you will. Anyway, that's really it tonight. I don't have anything beyond that except to say I appreciate you. I thank you as a community. Many of you that have commented either here on the blog itself or the vlog itself or through email exchanges privately. I appreciate it. It makes my day when you do. But I also know many times, not unlike myself, I take ideas from other people who are courageous enough to put them out there in the world. And I don't always acknowledge that through commenting or any other form of validation. So I journey on under the premise that I know that somebody somewhere is taking something from the time that I put into this, but selfishly speaking, I'm taking more out of it than most will probably take out over time. So in both ways, I feel blessed. Anyway, have an amazing evening, and we will talk to you again soon.